Hello, check. Hello. Hello, check. Hello. Hello. Hello, check. Hello. Hello. And hello. നേരത്തെ ഹലോ ചെക്കപ്പ് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഹലോ.
ഹലോ 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 ടെസ്റ്റിംഗ് ഇവിടെ വരുന്നുണ്ട് വരുന്നുണ്ട്.
ഇതിന്ന് എന്തെങ്കിലും പോകുന്നുണ്ട്.
Mic testing. Mic testing.
Hello. Hello. Hello, check. Hello, check. Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to the 92nd edition of FirePort 80. So far, I think this is the second physical edition, followed by the 91st edition last month. And this time, Mr. Abhay Kumar will be taking you through the area of product management. So the flow of the session is like we'll be having we'll be having a session called Tech Bytes. Followed by that, the core content will be shared by Mr. Abhay Kumar. Then later on, we'll have a Q&A. And thank you so much for joining here. And I'll just take you through the Tech Bytes first. Zahir. Tech Bytes is nothing but, whatever things which has happened in last month or recently on Tech Arena. Can you just share the PowerPoint slides? One second. Yeah. The first tech news for this month, like Apple says goodbye to passwords. So we have seen that the recent updates, as per the recent updates, they're trying a new technology called generating unique pass keys for each application or browser-based services in the place of characters. So we'll think like they will be replacing the passwords with these unique pass keys. And the second tech news is Meta tools for parents on Instagram, like Facebook or Meta is planning to, or I think they have already implemented new tools to monitor teens using Instagram accounts, so they can set daily limit for usage of Instagram and monitor the activities by their kids. And there is a news from RBI, Reserve Bank of India. They're planning to come out with a regulatory architecture for digital lending platforms. So we've seen that many of such applications has been using unauthorized or being illegal. So RBI is coming with a particular sort of a regulatory architecture for the entire platforms and online platforms. And there is another curious news on Google's Lambda AI chatbot. So recently, Google engineer Blake Lemoine has been suspended after claiming that Google's AI chatbot has become sentient. Sentient in the sense, like it can, or it having the power of perception by the senses. It can sense maybe the feeling or something like that. So it's been for the Tech Bytes. And I would welcome Mr. Abhay Kumar to take us into the product management area. And yeah, please. About Mr. Abhay Kumar, he's a senior manager, product management at Edgeworth. Mr. Abhay Kumar is a financial services product executive with 21 years of experience, specialized in revenue management and business assurance on BFSI. He is passionate about driving product development initiatives from ideation to rollout and has 10 years of leadership experience in product management, delivering value to Tier 1, Tier 2 and organization globally. And I would like to welcome Mr. Abhay Kumar on this platform. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for FirePort IT team for giving this opportunity. So today we will discuss on the product management, what product management is all about. For getting into that, here I'm trying to share my experiences on our last 21 years working with product companies, because throughout my career I have been with product companies, and for last 10 years it is like more or less into product management aspects alone. And in this 21 years, I spend a lot of time working with clients, have worked with clients across almost 6 continents, and has been part of launch and delivery of close to 8 products. So here I'll be sharing my experiences on product management. So here I have listed some products. What is common with these products? These are all B2C products, basically business directly to the consumer products. So what is common with these products? These are like, brands, products, which most of us think as successful product in the market. All these are having one or unique capabilities, like for example, iPhone or iPad. It came in as an innovation, changed the entire way of the way people use mobile phones and all those things. Whereas you see Google Maps over there, that's again a thing which most of the people use. You could see Uber, everything was existing, the car was existing, the payment methods was existing, but somebody did orchestrate that one use case pretty well, and that product became successful. And on the other side, we have a set of products, again, products from large brands, big brands, which was kind of not so successful. So it's again probably a general perception from the public point of view. We really don't know like what was the vision of the company in most of the cases. So it's just a normal classification on like many sites saying that some of these products are not so successful. Why? For example, you take the first one. It's a consumer product. Google, the Colgate thing. So they went into the for diversification. They went into the food side as well. So frozen food they wanted to sell. And this failed miserably. It seems people, like what is Colgate associated to? Colgate is always associated to dental products, paste. So people are, even when they are taking the dinner, they are feeling that, it has that smell or flavor of paste is echoing in their mind. So, and this actually impacted their mainstream business as well. The sales of the Colgate paste also gone down at that point of time. So they actually came out of this business. Similarly, the Google Plus, which is the social platform, so like it was coming as a competition for Facebook or something, didn't pick up because customers didn't find anything new or anything different. Whereas Facebook came in when there was Orkut, right? But Facebook were able to identify new areas for giving more opportunities for the users to express themselves, share their details, and all those things. So there are many such things. For example, this one is Twitter Peak, what you see in the middle. It's just a phone to do tweeting, just to use in Twitter. The problem with this was the user can only see 20 characters of their tweet. So that was only sole purpose of that product, but that failed in that. So if you see, each of them failed due to one or other reason. So here what we need to see is like why some of them are successful and some of them are failed. Some of them are innovative products, were successful. Some of the innovative products failed. Some of the competition product, for probably Facebook, I will say it as a competition product because something else was already there, but it became successful. Whereas some product from Apple, which is Apple Maps, was not so successful, even if it is from a brand like Apple. So there is a core aspect associated with this, which is product management. So when we talk about product management, there are it's a highly confused area as well. It's a very broad stream. This product management deals with everything which is mentioned in this word cloud. It talks about planning, it talks about life cycle management, the marketing, everything is involved in product management. It is not just about building that product. It is taking care of the end-to-end life cycle of that product. So here you could see that, in product management life cycle, this is a typical life cycle. You can see that, there is a ideation phase where people think about what product I want to launch, what is the idea, so there could be different ideas. Then there is a screening process where out of various ideas I will screen out the ideas, I will evaluate each of these ideas and find out what each of these ideas is all about and whether I am going to deliver some value. See, the ultimate aim of each and every product, when we launch something, when we come up with a product, it should either solve a problem, means there should be some problem there and it should offer a solution to that problem, or it should be something truly innovative where people find that, okay, it's a new way of working. It should be either on this way. So you should screen and identify what problem am I solving. Am I really delivering some value to my customers? Unless we deliver value, whatever brand it belongs to, it might not be it might not become a successful product. That's why we see, big brands on the right side of the previous slide. Now, once I screen and chosen what idea I want to pursue, what is the product which I want to build, then okay, I might do some conceptualization, some prototype I might build. I might try to validate it with the customers, market, etc., to see what is the response, how it is evolving. So up to this, it is about making a decision on what I need to build, what is the problem which I want to solve, what is where I want to reach, kind of thing. Then it is all about product development. That is a phase where you develop the product. The product development itself is a long journey. It's not a 1 week, 1 month, or 2 month activity. It's a long journey. And then it is about commercialization and rollout. That means how I will roll it out in the market, what is the go-to-market strategy, and all those things. So this is a typical life cycle of the product. And here, whenever I am, initially building a product, I might have to focus on things like MVP. That means I need to come up with a minimum viable product, a base product which I can start, showing to my customers, showing to my target audience, etc., to see am I getting interaction, like is customers interested in this product and this value. So that is the one aspect which comes from the ideation phase. Whereas once I have launched a product and it is already gone to the market, it is being consumed by the customers, then we need to talk about product increments and product releases, which means I have given the first release, then I need to give subsequent version upgrades if it's a B2C product, or even for the B2B products, which is business to business product, I need to give the next version of upgrades and all those things. I need to enhance the product with more and more features. Probably Facebook or even iPhone, what you have seen 3 years before is not the same iPhone what you are seeing today, because they have come up with more features. It could be a security feature, it could be a like navigation feature, user experience feature, etc. Now, there is so we have seen that in the previous slide. What we have seen is there is a life cycle for the product, and here there is some phases also associated with the product, which means all products will go through this life cycle. There is a introduction phase, there is a growth phase, there is a maturity phase, and there is a decline phase. So depending on whether it is again a B2B, B2C, etc., the focus of the product on how I should capture the market, how I should approach the market will change. If it is assume take, let's say it's a B2B product, which is business to business product. So for example, I am giving a software for my bank. Now, there it depends, right? If it is a innovation, if it is a new area, then introduction phase will follow a totally different pattern. There will be banks, especially innovative banks, who might want to work with me. They will work along with me and try to adapt that product and try to gain some benefit out of it. Whereas in the growth phase, once a new product sees traction, then there will be other competitors who will also start thinking about making that product. So let's say I created a unique product. Next time, once it is in market, once we start marketing about that product, people become aware about that product and its benefits. Then it's all about, they don't have to now think about the ideation and all those things. They wanted to catch up. Now in the growth phase, I need to keep my growth or staying competitive. What I need to do is I need to always have an edge. So it depends on what features I offer, what capabilities I offer, how I present my product in the market. It is not just about features and product, how you communicate the value of the product to the end customer. When I say communication of value, this is a very tricky thing. For example, most product, even if you talk to most product companies, most product managers, what value you really deliver to your customers? What is the business problem which you are solving? Most of the people working in product companies doesn't really think about it. They are just going on a daily basis. They work on that company, they do the product development, etc., but they don't think about it. So you need to make sure that you stay competitive in the market. Now in the maturity phase, there is a lot of competition. So most of the times it becomes a price war at that point of time, because price war and time war. That means how much time is required to your product to be deployed in my premises, or for me to adopt your product, and how fast I can take it to the market. Means, let's say if I'm selling a product to a bank wants to understand how quick I will be able to integrate your product to my system, and what is the price. Because now there are 10 people out in the market who is ready to give the same capabilities, same set of features at probably a discounted rate. So it becomes a price war and time, like implementation approach war and all those things. And then it is a decline phase where, probably that product becomes irrelevant in the market. For example, we had 10, 15 years back, we had ATM cards and associated, it is only able to withdraw cash from ATM. It doesn't have any other purpose. Now that ATM card was, become obsolete, and then the debit cards came in, which you can actually go and shop as well as you can actually withdraw money from your bank account. Now, if I was one person who is working just on this ATM card kind of a domain, then my product is becoming obsolete because market has moved ahead with something else. So we need to make sure that the product life cycle is taken care of. In each of this product, we need to act in according to the market situation. You need to be always focusing on how market is evolving, and you need to act based on that. So product management is also all about like taking care of the whole product. It is not just about building the product. Building the product means you have a technical design, you have a functional design, you build a product with some set of features. That's not it. It's about even thinking about doing the initial market research on identifying what is required, what is the business problem which I want to solve, what is the value I will deliver to the product, etc., market, etc. Then there should be a product vision, which means how I want to, where I want to go. What is the vision of the company? For example, LinkedIn vision says that it wants to give economic opportunity to all the professionals. So that's a motherhood statement. It's a broad statement. It's not talking about a functionality or a capability or anything. It's the vision of the company on what it wants to achieve in the market. Now, once there is a vision, there should be something called a product strategy. So I have defined a vision. And standing today, how will I reach my vision? What is the path towards the vision? So you need to define steps in which you will reach that vision. It could be about, let's say, n number of multiple products I create and sell in the market to reach that vision. It could be about different customer segments or different markets which I am targeting and reaching that domain, reaching that vision, etc. So the strategy is also becoming important. So now you could see, you could kind of, you should relate that, I started with a market research. I identified some business problems. I found that that is an area where a software product or some product is required, which there's a problem to solve. And then I defined the vision and strategy, etc., for that product. Then it is a product development, which is mostly about you are building the capabilities on the product. If it is, let's say, if it's a mobile phone, an Android or iPhone, you find that okay, there probably I might need a new feature, like as said in the TechBit session, like now Apple is giving away with passwords. There is no more passwords. If that is the case, then that's a feature which they are thinking about and building it into the product. So this product development is about adding more capabilities, more features, enhancing the thing, enhancing the product value, etc. Then there is something called product pricing. So I have created a product. I found that there is somebody is required. What is the price in which I can sell this product? Or can I sell this product in one single price? For example, saying that, okay, this is my product and this is the price in which I will sell. Is it going to be same across markets? Or am I going to vary this pricing strategy across markets? For certain set of customer, am I going to give some promotions or something like that? So it has a lot of factors which takes care of the product pricing. And the last one is about, there's something called a go-to-market strategy. So you need to make sure that, once you decide on pricing, the pricing itself is a complex structure. For example, you can just price based on value, which means I think my product is delivering certain value. Without my product, probably there is a certain loss or there is a opportunity which the consumer is missing. So for that value, I am pricing. So it doesn't depend on anything with respect to the effort I put in or anything. It is a value based on which I will price. Whereas in some cases, it is cost plus something. I took this much effort for making this product, so I will price it in a different model. In some cases, it is dynamic. Mostly software products, it is now becoming more and more dynamic. Means I have a product with 100 capabilities. Based on what capability each of them use, my pricing will vary. So there is a different pricing strategy, and there is a go-to-market strategy. At what place, what price, how I will launch, which all customers I will try to reach, what way I will approach them, how will I market my product, how will I make my product visible in the market, what is the marketing strategy, which all analysts I will work with, etc., etc. So you could see that, like most of the times when we talk about product and product management, people think about product development. Here the focus has to be on the whole product. It's not about just the product, it's about product plus selling it. And this is again who manages this product. We talked about product. There is some person called a product manager who takes care of the product. He is the ultimate authority of that product. Now, there is somebody call him a mini CEO, somebody call him, no, he is not a mini CEO, etc. But basically, just want to represent that he owns that product. He is the authority. Like, if a product is successful, for example, if Google Glass is a failure, then the product manager failed at some point on some strategy. For example, one of the Segway, you might have seen a two-wheeler in which a person was standing in the first slide. So that failed because of the pricing strategy. It was priced at a higher price, which consumer didn't buy it, find it attractive. Whereas another similar vehicle like Lime, which is a scooter, they adopted a different go-to-market strategy, which was successful. So at some point, the product might be great, everything, capabilities might be great. Even if you fail on the pricing strategy, you are out of the equation. So this role becomes very critical. And what is he? So again, what is this person's capabilities? What all he need to know? He need to have a domain knowledge, which means he should understand the domain which he is working on, and he should also have a customer orientation. He needs to know how customers, he should be having constant connect with the customer. He should understand his customers. Then only he will be able to come out with a good product. Then it is about the industry knowledge. So I have a domain, then there is an industry in which I am working. It could be software, it could be banking, it could be anything. So you need to know the industry, and you also need to have a functional and UX skills. That means I need to have as a product manager, I should be able to understand what capabilities are required whether a particular capability is required in my product or not. And I should be also able to define when I launch my product, when a consumer is using my product, what is the UX which that person is expecting? What is the user experience that we should give to him? So he need to have deep understanding from the other side of the table to define all this. And then it is about innovation, like he need to have an innovation mindset, and there should be business skills and technological skills. So technology skills, business skills, so if you see the right side, there are different things. It is very difficult to have it in one person, right? But because even product managers find it difficult to have all these acumen with them. But the matter of the fact is you need to have all these. You need not be having deep knowledge on each of these, but you should be able to work along with your team, your customers, the entire ecosystem in all these aspects. So you should understand, for example, let's say if there is something on technology, I should be able to understand. I might not be like a person who can probably do a research on technology or identify what tools should be used in my product. But when a technical architect suggests that, okay, I am going ahead with this, then I should be able to talk to them and understand what is that. I should be also having something like when somebody talk about, okay, we should be offering it in cloud. I should know what cloud means, how it works in cloud, what is the need, and all those things. On the other side, you need to have some other capabilities as well, right? And this becomes more critical. For example, you need to be having strong communication skills, because most cases you are not going to be master on all of this. Probably in some area you will be a master. But here on the communication skills, you need to be a master. Unless a product manager is able to communicate very efficiently, it is going to be a big problem. So, and second thing is on stakeholder management. This is one of the biggest role or responsibility of a product manager, to manage the entire stakeholders in the ecosystem. Because he is owning the product, right? As a person, he is supposed to take care of the life cycle of the product, the growth of the product, everything. So he need to be effective on the stakeholder management. And there should be something, he should be very good in decision making, because it's every other day you need to make some decisions. It is not that you follow something and you can just work like that in product management. Every other day, every other moment you need to take some decision. And the one key thing which you need to always have is empathy. That means you should be able to connect with everybody in your ecosystem. You should stand in the customer's shoes and think what is the challenge he is facing. He should be able to stand in the shoes of developer and think what is the challenge he is facing. He should be able to think from all these, he should be able to wear all these hats. So empathy is one key skill which the product manager should have. And the problem solving, attention to details, leadership, which are kind of generic. Now if you think about all these, probably the whatever is put on the this side is becoming more relevant. Because you have all, even if you are a master in all the other ones, without proper communication, decision making and stakeholder management, you are done. You won't be able to do anything literally. So you need to make sure that all these skills, because there are much more skills which is required actually. For example, there are negotiation skills. A product manager should be a good listener. Mostly that is one thing which is lacking many places. Like people will talk, but they will not listen. But product manager has to be a good listener. He should be able to, disagree with grace. At some point of time, probably even with the customer or even with the CEO, he might have to say no. It's a very difficult task. So hence again, stakeholder management becomes very important. Correct? So product manager is one person who should know why, what, and how. All these things. I'm not saying he's the only person who is executing, but he need to know the why, what, and how. So that, okay, why we are doing this, what we are doing, and how we are doing. Then only he will be able to coordinate between everyone. And is there any other any other characteristics or any other capability which a product manager is required? What do you think? What other capability a product manager might need? Yeah. So probably that's one way, depending on like how small or how big you are. Probably another way is that, like if somebody else is estimating, you need to have the capacity to validate that. So see, everybody want to create a new product, right? Everybody want to be in product space because service space is becoming very competitive. There is not, probably every other person is getting into the service domain. So people want to come up with product. People think about innovations because there is, compared to let's say 20 years back, there is a lot of acceptance in the market for innovations and new things. We had like this in RBI, like this NPCI has come up with the UPI, right? So how you see, like in 2016 or 2014, we were behind China, US and all, and now we are ahead of all of them, probably 2 times than China even in UPI transactions in 6 years. So, and now even last week you could see that, UPI is coming with new options, right? For example, now they are saying you can use credit cards as well in connection with UPI. So they have thought about something. I really don't know what is their vision statement. Probably their vision could be saying that, half of or even 90% of the digital transaction should be through me, and it should be cost effective. So each of these decisions is having cost implications as well from the customer's point of view, from the merchant's point of view, and all things. Probably they might want to bypass some of the intermediaries and use UPI channel, so that like a customer the commissions and all will go away, or it will be negligible. So that becomes the success of the product. And now in US, other markets, this wearable products is having a lot of traction, which means when I purchase something, I can just go to the counter and tap my watch and walk out. So these are all innovations which market is adapting to. And tomorrow, if a much more higher innovation, much more user-friendly innovation is coming up, a product is coming up, people will adapt to that. All these will become irrelevant. So a product manager's point of view, he need to be always focused on the market. He should really understand how the market is evolving. Because I created a product and if I just sit on top of it with some enhancement and all those things, it might not work out. You need to know how market is evolving and how you need to react to that. And if you can, proactively think of it and be ahead of the game, that makes a difference. Yes. Yeah, we are coming to that in the subsequent slide. And here one challenge which product managers normally have is, let's say I am not a techie guy. I am a functional guy. I know domain and I know functionality. So when I am wearing a product manager hat, there is a general tendency for me to focus more on the functional side, because that is my core area of strength. I don't know marketing, so I might probably ignore marketing. I might try to ask somebody else to take care of it. So, and similarly, if you are a techie, your focus will be on the technology stack. You might not be worried about the functionality, but that will not help. The product manager need to have the whole ownership of the whole product, not just one aspect or the other aspect. And now the other crisis which we see when we talk to people, when we talk to different when we take interviews, when we take collect different resumes, is that every other person in the we meet is a product manager. So this what said, like the identity crisis exists. What is that I am doing? So for example, a product owner says that he is also a product manager. Correct? The product owner says that he is a product manager. Project manager also says he is a product manager. Then product manager is definitely there as a role. And then you have program manager who really thinks that he is the product manager. Now again, you should tie back to what we have said in the last 2 slides. What is the responsibility of a product manager? The product manager is the CEO or the person who drives that product. It is not about execution. It is not about planning. It is not just about marketing. It's about everything. Correct? So now if you take a project manager, you see what is his core area of strength. What will a project manager do? He will always do like focus on execution and planning, execution, right? What will a product owner do? Product owner is not worried about anything else. It's like, for example, in a normal domain, a product manager says, this is what I want to do, this is my roadmap, these are the things which I want as a feature or a capability in my product. Product owner makes sure that that gets delivered. He takes care, he's looking inward. He's looking inward to your company, our company, and he's going to deliver those components. He works very close with the development team on the design aspects. So product manager is not going to design each of these items. Product manager work with the product owner. So each of these roles are there in the market. But all these roles are not same as product manager. So you need to have a clear understanding on what product manager does. Because whenever you want to, in your career, if you are either in the product management, because whenever you are in the product management space or you want to move to product management space, you need to have this visibility. And I was in product management, and I used to say that, okay, I am a product manager, but of late I realized that probably many things I am not doing. And even today, probably I might not be there. So it's a long journey. There are every other day you have new things to take care of. And this says the normal and activity map of a product manager. He is literally called as a superhero because he has to take care of everything. And he is also called as a strategist because he is the one who is deciding how the product needs to work, how I want the success and failure of my product, right? And look at this, like he needs to work with sales. He needs to have business. He needs to know technology. He needs to know development. He needs to know UX, customers, competitors, partners, vendors. So, like probably in last 10 years, I was never up to 18 years in my career, I never managed a vendor. But on that point of time, I had to work with a vendor. So that time you realize, okay, now you need to start engaging in contract negotiation, rates, everything with the vendor because he is going to deliver something for your product. Now you need to also make sure that how you will deliver value out of that vendor. Because as a product manager, I don't want to excuse him and take value, or I don't want to cheat him. I want to make sure that he is also getting value and I am also getting value. So these are all very difficult tasks, which will take, you need to go through this life cycle. There is no easy way of learning it as well. You need to go through this life cycle to understand it and, mature yourself as a product manager whenever you are getting into that space. Just to summarize, these are the things which we discussed till this point of time. There is a set of internal activities, which is basically focusing on my company alone. So that's product vision, product planning, strategy, development, validation, and prioritization. And on the other side, it is external activities like market research, product positioning, communication, analyst validations, pricing, competitor analysis, all those things. So is there a specific point which you want to discuss on any of these points here at this point? Okay. See, you have created this. This comes over here, okay? In the marketing combination, marketing plus other sales plus competition and all those things. So what happens over there is you have a product. You know that that's a value. Now, how will you and it is known to you only, right? Because I created a product and I have it now. Now, how will I make, let us say I am going to a customer, my potential customer. Now, if he has not heard about my product, will he buy? It is difficult, correct? Second thing is about how will I make sure that my product is reaching my consumers? In a B2B, it is easy. You can start pushing ads. You can have different ways of communicating to the customer. You can put paper ads, TV ads, promotions, etc. Now, in a B2B scenario, that means a business-to-business scenario, how will you work? So you need to make sure that if you are working in a banking domain, you need to understand which are the standard banking leading banking magazines, leading banking analysts, probably leading banking forums. For example, there are different events happening across the world. So you need to start positioning your product. You need to start participating in those events. You need to make sure that your product is, showcased over there. So like that, you need to engage with the market first. So how can you just engage? It cannot be a random activity. It has to be a planned activity. So you need to see which market I will act first, whether I am going to launch across the world or India or US. Like that, you decide on one of two strategies and you chart out the strategy. So the price, everything, the product, price, promotion, and place. And there are more P's actually. There is something called 4 P's is what I have mentioned now. There is something called 7 P's as well. So there is a different set of things which needs to be covered on the GTM strategy. So you made the product, now you need to take it to your customers. So how easily or how quick you are getting more customers, how quickly customers are adopting your product will depend, that will drive your success. So hence it is important. And see, marketing team cannot do it alone, right? Marketing team will do the marketing. But how will they communicate the value of the product to the market? It has to be shared, communicated by the product manager. Product manager should tell what is the problem which I am trying to solve. What is the value this will give to the customers? If this product is not there, what they will lack? So the value statement needs to be communicated explicitly. That is what is covered in the GTM.
So in a company, there will be different teams, right? One will be marketing, the other team will be developing a product. So if I'm considering a fintech market, so how it will be? What is the main point? So if a product is an alpha product, like that product stands out from all other products, then what is the role of marketing? So already that product is unique, right? So it should market itself. So what is the relevance of marketing here?
Okay. So see, you come up with something called a let's say something like iPhone, right? So if you take iPhone, like for example, the moment let's say I say that I am coming up with iPhone 13 or 14, people are queuing outside the stores to buy it, right? You really don't need to do anything. But how did Apple reach there? There is some legacy for that, right? It is not all of a sudden Apple first came with iPhone 13 and all the people went ahead and stand in front of the stores, right? It is not like that. They had a lot of failures, right? And after that, they come up with something called, I think iTunes or something like that, right? iPods. So till that point of time, people used to use the big back Walkman with lot of switches and all those things. Then they had this iPod coming up, which found it very user-friendly. You can use it everywhere. You can just have it in the pocket while running, while working, everywhere you can use it. And it is only having one single button to work. Now, over a period of time, Apple associated itself to something called quality and user experience. Now my brand is having that value. Correct? Now my brand is having that value. When whatever Apple is coming out with, it is having something special. And it has also become a brand value associated with the consumer as well. As a consumer, if I have an Apple phone, I take pride on it. That is the stage where Apple took their customers to. Correct. Hence, when they launched the Apple cloth or something like that also, people were standing outside to buy it. So, the point here is, one is a brand value. If you have a huge brand value, you can capitalize on that and promote. You don't need a huge go-to-market strategy. Because it's a consumer product. If it is let us say, you are making a fintech product, assume that this fintech product is doing some unique thing. assume that it is doing, let's say, aggregation of all the accounts of different people, doing some analysis and suggesting what should invest, etc., etc. There could be like this product should be already there. I'm saying just an example. Now, how will, let's say, and I am a company, let's say it's Abhay's company, and Abhay's company is here in Trivandrum, sitting in one corner. I created this product. How will world know that such a product exists? The product is good. It is having a best analysis, best framework, and its predictions are perfect. If he is suggesting a pattern saying that, okay, you should invest here, 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 it will work. It is based on some unique, like machine learning or some logic which I have created. And I tested it 100 times, it worked. But how will, let's say when you want to buy that app or something from the app store for a price of, let's say, 5,000 rupees, what will make you buy it? You need to know that such a product exists, right? That's why you see Healthify. They are making ads on every day, right? You're seeing ads every day. So similarly, if it is a B2B product, you need to make sure that what are the ways in which I could reach, let's say, bank CEOs or healthcare CEOs, their CXOs, their decision makers. So you need to have some GTM strategy. Even in the Apple scenario, there is a GTM strategy. That strategy is based on brand. That's all. Yeah, sure, please.
So that's a very good question. So I just wanted to, and you really gave a gold nugget already. Just adding 2 or 3 drops of gold over there. So I'm also a product manager, that's why. So that was a very good question. I'm just gonna take this into a different direction because I already covered the most important aspects of building a brand, importance of brand value, etc. Now I'm gonna talk about a brand called Tesla, right? So is there anybody who doesn't know about Tesla? No, everyone knows about Tesla. Are they doing any kind of marketing? No, they are not doing the marketing. So you mentioned the term of alpha product. So a product becomes an alpha product definitely because of its capability in a market. So in the EV market, Tesla has established a product which is alpha in nature. That's correct. But they are not doing any marketing directly. They are not doing any advertising, all right? But they are definitely doing marketing. You know what? Now Tesla has started another marketing campaign wherein which they are placing billboards all over America in front of gas stations, just opposite to gas stations, wherein which they will be highlighting the price of gas versus the price of EV over an year. Is that marketing? That's marketing, right? Why? They are tapping into the emotions of the customer. They are tapping into the common sense of the customer and trying to further expand their total attainable market. You understand? There are people who are already committed to buying gas-based vehicles. When I say gas, it is petrol, diesel, whatever, gasoline, etc. Now, what Tesla is trying to do is they have attained a quantifiable market already in EV. Right? Those customers, those early adopters who want to invest in EV, they have already attained them and they are doing good. But now, as a product company, what Tesla need to do to build more revenue and add more product segments? They need to increase their total attainable market, right? For that, they are coming up with this very incredible idea to feed into the customer's mind that the value proposition of gas versus EV over a long term is terribly, incremental. EV is more valuable. They're going to sell it. And they're doing it by tapping into the emotion of the customer. We are already in an economic recession, and they are going to tap that emotion of the customer and attain. So that is a go-to-market strategy, right? That is an incredible GTM wherein which they have clearly identified the current emotion of the market and they are positioning their marketing strategies. They are not advertising their product, but then they are eventually improving or adding more tangible market to their total attainable market to their product. So that is also an incredible GTM strategy. So these are all part of product management. Some product manager have thought about it and have executed it well. in Tesla, and that's what is happening. Did I answer your question about alpha product and how alpha products marketing is important in alpha products also, and what product managers does there, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin. And again, Nitin, like just for change in direction, like see for Tesla, like he's mentioned about quality as well, right? One, if my product is having high quality, if you ever get into a Tesla, most probably you will buy it. So recently there was a chance somebody drove me in a Tesla, but it was like, wow. Like it's not like any because like when we travel we get the opportunity to get into different cars, right? It's a totally different experience. It like he just accelerated from let's say 0 to 140 or 150 kilometers in 5-6 seconds. It's like you are reaching the top of a roller coaster and it's like whoosh. And he literally asked whether anybody has a motion sickness. So we thought, okay, he might be just kidding. But it was really a valid question he asked. So if you ever get into a Tesla and if you have the money as well, of course, you will definitely go for it. So the next one, see here up to this, if you look back, what we covered is what is product management. We talked about strategy, vision, as well as what is the responsibilities of a product manager and all. Now there is one thing which you might have heard many times, something called product roadmap. So everywhere you will hear product roadmap and all those things. So what is product roadmap all about? So product roadmap is basically you talked about a vision, right? Then there is a strategy. And then you need to have something called a roadmap. So vision is where the why or where, what is your end state. Strategy is how you will reach it. And this literally says how, like what is that you're going to literally do? What are the 10 things you are going to do to reach each of the strategy? So most of the places, if you have a B2B product and all those things, this roadmap has a big relevance. B2C, it is coming in a different form. For example, if Apple or somebody is announcing the next product, they will probably say next version of my Apple 14 or Apple 15, iPhone 15, these are probably the capabilities which is coming up. They'll just say like that. Whereas with B2B products, you need to have a, because it is a lengthy association. It is not that I sell something, I go away and they will use it for 2 months and they will stop it. It is not like that, most of the B2B product. It's a lengthy association. So your customers will always check out how strong is your roadmap. What is that you are doing in roadmap? What is your direction? So most of the clients ask for 1 year, 2 year roadmap. Now 2 years a too lengthy timeline. It is not just, anything could happen between those times in the market. So your product roadmap should be structured in such a way that, whatever is going to happen now or within the next 6 months, that has to be detailed. That means it should give the maximum input to the customer, saying that these are the things which are exactly coming out in the next 6 months. Then the next one is going to be at a slightly higher level. And the later, which is probably beyond 1 year and all this, it could be at a much higher level, saying that, okay, we are looking for something like this. So at this point, you should be absolutely, if somebody wants to discuss about a specific item in roadmap at this level, at the now stage, you should be able to absolutely talk about it in very crisp clarity and absolute details. Whereas if it is on the next level, you should be able to still give him all the inputs, you should be able to do how it will fit in, what it will deliver and all that. Whereas at this layer, it will become a big picture, it's a direction only. So, and how you create the roadmap is also important. Can a product manager just sit at one place, talk to probably his friends or his team members and create a roadmap? It is not possible, right? Because you are creating a product for your consumers. Your product for your customers, right? So you need to, in a B2B product, I'm again saying a B2B scenario. In a B2C, it is going to be totally different, or even in B2C also, it is going to be different. In a B2B scenario, what we do is you need to reach out to all options which could give you input. So, for example, as part of your product, even though there are customers who have already adopted your product, so they will give you input saying that, okay, this feature is lacking or this feature needs improvement. So that is an input which you will get. Then you might be ending up with hundreds of customer prospect engagements. You will be talking to various prospects. You will be trying to sell your product to them. You will be trying to explain them the product value, etc. As part of that engagement, you will get a lot of input on what is required in this product, what are the capabilities which is required in the product. Then you yourself can do the market research. As a product manager, you can do a market research, and there are a lot of analyst forums from where you could get the input.
Abhay, can we take a short coffee break? 5-10 minutes coffee break for?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We want to break now or?
What do you think? Can we break now, have some coffee, and come back and enjoy the rest of the session? All right, then let's do it now, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a short break.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Will be served here. Don't worry. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed your coffee. Let's start.
Okay, so now probably that break might have helped you to refresh. Uh, so, see, we stopped at actually a logical point, okay? Because till this point we are talking about product management, what it is and all about. Now we are talking about the challenges in product management. It is not just understanding the area is important. At the same time, you need to understand what are the problems as well. So there are a lot of challenges product managers face, okay? And one of the key challenge is this. That is, there is competing objective within the organization. You are a product manager in the organization, and at times you feel that there is a competing objective, means the organization is having too many diversions. So you think that, okay, I am driving a product in this direction, but probably there is some other initiatives which is getting triggered, which is diluting this activity. So this is one of the challenges which product managers face. The next one is about, it's a big responsibility. Many product managers say this. It's a big responsibility, but very little authority. Because we saw that, product manager has to work with all the teams, developers, marketing, legal, stakeholders, everyone. But none of them report to him, right? So he needs to make sure that, he has the ability to influence people, talk to them, and get things done. So it's a big responsibility, and there is very little authority. Then there's plenty of work. That means as a product, there are hundreds of things to be done. But, we don't have time for all those 100. So this is one common complaint or a common challenge which product managers raise. The next one is on not able to influence stakeholders. You could actually relate probably the first item to this itself. That means if my product needs to be successful across in the entire life cycle, across all the stages, I should be a person who should be good in stakeholder management. Be it my colleagues, external people, my managers, even the executive management, everyone, all these stakeholders I should be able to influence. Only then a product will be reaching the ultimate success. The next one is on roadmap prioritization. So as a product, most of the times you end up having hundreds of items in your roadmap. Now there is always a call on what you will prioritize. Because every other, like for example, you yourselves might have, when you are working in some of the softwares or some of the applications, you yourself might have thought about, why can't they have a feature like this? Because it is easy for a person to recommend a feature. So there will be hundreds of features which will be in your backlogs, which will be in your to-do things. But ultimately, that prioritization becomes hard. And what you need to focus is, whenever you are going to take each of these items, you need to make sure that, what is the value it will bring in. Am I doing it for just a, like my product completeness, my own emotional satisfaction, or is there a value which it is bringing? And second thing is this value kind of, must-have kind of thing, or is it about just, if it is there, it is a good kind of thing, nice to have kind of thing. And tomorrow, if I attach a price tag to this feature, let us say I am adding a new feature to my product. Now tomorrow I am telling the customer that if you want this feature, you have to pay another X dollars. Will they be willing to pay? So there is a feature, there is a value associated, and if the customer is ready to pay, then that feature is good. So you might have to use different prioritization techniques to prioritize your, do the prioritization of your roadmap. And changes everywhere, right? Like there is nothing is static, right? The market is changing every other day. For example, you have created a product, it is being sold in Europe, Africa, etc. All of a sudden, somebody comes up with a regulation saying that this needs to be complied. For example, let's say I have deployed my application in cloud servers. Assume that now there is a legislation coming in saying that the data cannot go out of the country. So all of a sudden, I need to rethink on like, okay, existing customers, how will I make sure that there is no breach, etc. Or tomorrow, if a new privacy law is coming up, I need to comply to that. So, and tomorrow a competitor is coming up with something new. Or let us say a regulator is coming with some new framework. Let's say, for example, in India, we had FASTag, right? FASTag is being used for tolls, right? So there are applications which is running on using, FASTag APIs, etc. for various purposes. Yeah. Now all of a sudden government is thinking about something else. Now I might have designed an application who is working with some FASTag APIs and all those things in my entire ecosystem or in my flow. Now when government is introducing something else, now this is not something which I anticipated. But I need to react and I need to adopt to that. So these changes I need to always manage. So I need to be focusing on the market. And competitive market means, like as I said initially, when too many players coming in, market is becoming too competitive. So you need to have a fine balance between the total cost you are put into the product, whether you are getting that value, all those things you need to take care. Probably your product is delivering a value, because of tough competition, you have to take a cut on the price, which is not what you really want to do. Or your product should be on a premium segment. That means I am not, my product is premium and my price pattern is fixed, like the iPhone pricing. It is priced way above many of the Android phones, right? But people are buying it because of there are some unique features or unique value which people are seeing on it. So like that, you need to have some competitive market is one big challenge. And then technological dependencies and limitations. For example, I might want to do something, but there could be some, the architects will say that, no, this is not possible because of these reasons. Or they will say, okay, we use this technology will not work with this technology. It might be very hard for me to comprehend and understand that. But that is a challenge which people will face, product managers will face on a daily basis. So these are some of the key challenges which is there. There are a lot of challenges, including, what is that, like staying proactive to the customers, and there could be even something like the balancing of responsibilities, which we will cover later. It is again a big task. How will I balance my various responsibilities? How will I take decisions every other day? And many times, as a person, you might be following certain principles. For example, many times the time versus quality is a question which you might have heard. There is a time pressure and there is I want to deliver something on time, but I know that there is a quality compromise. Which will you choose? So most of us would like to say that, yes, I want to choose on quality, right? But probably that might not work like that in product management. Because you might have 100 associated things associated with each of these product deliveries and all those things. There could be contractual commitments and all those things. So you might have to take all those decisions. So it's a very challenging task. So these are the challenges, and some of the decisions we will come to that. And here we will see about where is product managers spending time. This is a McKinsey survey. So where they are spending time, you could see that defining product strategy, they are spending 18% of the time. That's the maximum place, right? And you could see that it is engaging with customers and partners. And you could see on the other side, 14% defining product requirements and collaborating with technical functions, etc., planning, maintaining roadmap. And you could see that, most of the time it is being spent on the right things. That means this is where a person should focus. Correct? Review metric, he's only taking 8%. Pricing packaging, he's taking a slight share. So most of his focus is on product strategy, product roadmap, working with customers, which is probably the right thing to do. And that is what a McKinsey survey shown on something. And there is another survey which shows slightly different picture. So where am I spending my time? So product managers say that it is taken from something called Product Management Festival. So it's a trends, 2020 trends. So they're saying 23% or close to 25% of time I am spending on daily business, ad hoc request, and firefighting. You see the conflict there itself, right? In the previous slide, I said that there is a time challenge. I am having a lot of things to deliver, but I don't have enough time. Now you correlate this. I am firefighting on a daily basis with ad hoc requests and whatever thing. And in most of these cases, this firefighting will be have something to do with product quality. If your product is not having good quality, you are automatically bound to deal with firefighting every other day. So if your product is good in quality, then this will come down. The ad hoc request will come down, because when I say product is in good quality, it is not about just the functionalities or development, everything. I am still talking from the whole product point of view. Product documentation, supports, everything is proper. So that, nobody has to reach out to you asking for what are the features in your product, or what should I do to do something like this in product, because everything is available at various places as part of product documentation. So so the more mature and more quality your product is having, your firefighting will reduce, which means you are getting more and more time to your strategic initiatives. So this is one of the challenges. You have any point to say here?
Yeah, this is very interesting. So I just want to, you guys are from Data Science Academy, right? All right, so you are seeing a data visualization like this, all right? So now I think we can ask them also, right? So what would be the reason? The same survey asked to different people yielded different insight. What would be the primary reason? You guys are data scientists or wannabe data scientists. This is very simple and plain data in front of you. So what would be the reason? What is your inference? Can somebody tell? I mean, you guys are future data scientists, come on.
Might be about the different products and the success rate of those products, how the outcome, or basically it might be about the different type of products that they are doing. All right. The different strategies that they employ because of the difference in the products.
Beautiful answer. I think that really makes sense. Anyone else?
How they approach different project management or product managers approach a problem in different ways, right? So they'll be solving what seems logical to them. So that's how they'll be answering these questions.
But then how will this data predominantly differ based on what a product manager will be doing? Because you could see that in one chart, a majority of time product manager is spending on strategy and working with design, etc. But in another chart, it says that a majority of their time is going for ad hoc activities and firefighting, etc., and spending on meetings, all right? So why would that be? Like, I mean, the data is definitely telling you that they are doing differently. But then why would this data say something like that?
Maybe I think it also depends on the product that they're dealing with.
Correct.
So that's a brilliant thing. I mean, fundamentally what I feel about is these people have asked different set of product managers.
Correct.
McKinsey would have asked those product managers who are building products from the scratch, who have the time to work on a strategy, who have enough and ample mental bandwidth to work with designers and to come up with all the features, because that is what the organization also wants them to do. On the other hand, I think the right hand side mostly went to product managers who are actively working on enterprise products which are already there and trying to build in more revenue on the the life cycle of the product also is an important factor. So once a product is built, then there is also a technical depth, and then the product manager also have to deal with firefighting and stuff like that. So I think there is
that's the exact reason for we seeing two different numbers.
Yeah.
And the next one is on who is taking, so we talked about challenges, right? I'm trying to put some statistics which is trying to support some of those challenges, because you are seeing different views across different product managers. And you could also see who is making product decisions. So as a company, I'm dealing with products and I want to take decisions on my product. Who is taking the decision? Who should be taking the decision? If you ask me, it's a product manager, because I am responsible as a product manager. Product manager is responsible for the product. It's his product. It's his baby. He need to take care of it. Now, so the decision could, the suggestions could come from different forums. It could be a management suggestion. It could be a customer suggestion, different places. But the decision has to come from the product manager. You could see that majority is following that, which is a good thing, because it is product management organization or the product manager which is taking the decisions. Whereas if it is coming towards this side, then there is really a problem, because it is not like it might not be the product strategy, or there the product manager want to take the product. Now probably highest paid opinion, highest Kipo, is that creating a smile? Probably there are different people like that, right? It could be highest paid, it could be most powerful, it could be a person who you look up to. There could be different personas in your work environment whom, probably some of their words you cannot ignore. So you will listen to them and you might act it. Probably you might not agree with that, but still you might do the same thing what they are suggesting. So this is another statistics coming from the same survey. And we talk about all these challenges, responsibilities and all those things, and it all come to a balancing act, okay. And the balancing act is about the same thing, urgent. That means firefighting items or strategic. My vision means like the product vision items. The next one is on tactical and strategic. That means I really want to implement a capability like this, but I am under, for whatever reason, time pressure, contract pressure, whatever, I am doing it in a tricky way or a cheeky way, which I know that I might have to refactor it in the coming days. But that's still a call I need to take. Because I'm not talking about consumer products, I'm mostly talking about software products, B2B kind of a scenario. Then the third one is about quality versus timeline. We discussed this. You ask a product manager, this will be there in every day. There's a quality and a timeline pressure. You want to decide what you want to take. And sometimes, even though there are contractual impacts and all those things, you will go with quality because you know that they're probably sending that without quality might be having a bigger impact. But sometimes you might have to go with timeline because of some other considerations. So there is no. So you could say that. See, like if you ask a common man, he will immediately say, yeah, the first thing has to be important, second thing has to be strategic, third thing has to be quality. There is no confusion. But that's not it is. The next one is on functionality versus technology. So there are a lot of functionalities as we discussed, like, every other person could suggest 5 functionalities in the system, and there could be a lot of technology needs. I want to move from this technology to this technology. I want to switch from Oracle to Postgres. I want to do from this to this. I want to come up with something AI side, etc. So this is again a thinking, because every release is only having a fixed budget, fixed capacity, everything. What all I will take, whether I should take technology things, functional things, etc., etc. Then the next one is on, everybody will say that product manager should listen to the customers. Then there is also a saying that product manager should not listen to the customers. These are talking from 2 different contexts, right? Because customers are not the right people to tell you a solution. They will not, but what happens is they will always tell you a solution only. They will not tell you the problem. They will literally say, I want something like this in your product. This is what they will say. If your product is already in their premises, they will say, I want something like this in your product. And they will not literally say what is the challenge which they are facing. So it is up to the person who is talking to the customer to find out what is the exact challenge, or it is up to his responsibility to infer what is the challenge. So you need to talk to the second thing is, if you always talk to the customer, for example, no innovative products will come out. Correct? You might have always seen a cartoon where, somebody was pulling a cart with a square wheel and somebody is giving a round wheel, right? So it's like this, or like the story of Ford. When at that point of time, if you asked somebody on what you want, that time it was horse carts. So they will say that, okay, more a different design of horse cart which could move faster, or a more comfortable horse cart, because people are in that mindset. They are not innovative. So you should listen to the customers for some areas, and you should not listen to the customers. Same is the case with competitors. You should look up to the competition to see what they are doing, and you should not look up to the competition. Same purpose, because you are not in a direct fight with your competition. Your objective is not to match competition. Your objective is to reach your vision and probably excel much more than the competition. So you should listen to the competition, and you should not listen to the competition as well. And then there is something called a roadmap, right? So as a roadmap, I am saying these are the 100 things I want to do. Now I am also confused. Should I publish this roadmap or should I not publish this roadmap? Because there could be some strategic items which I might plan to deliver in 2 years' time. What if competition gets hold of this and do it in 6 months' time? So I am now also confused. A roadmap is required in the market. Everything is required, but what I should keep it as internal, what I keep it as external, to what extent I will communicate and to what extent I will not communicate. And the last one, whenever a feature is coming, whether I should take it into the product or not to take it into the product. There are a lot of features coming. Features could be genuine. Now the point is, should I decide to take it into the product? The moment you, as a product manager, you decide that, okay, I am taking this feature into the product, it is not about the cost of building that component alone. It is about the cost of building the component or building that capability is pretty less. It is about the ongoing maintenance of that component. You need to, every time when you test your product, you need to validate that. Whenever some other component which some other functionality which had a dependency on this functionality, whenever that changes, this also has to change. So whenever you are adding a functionality to the product, you are signing up to a recurring cost. So then you need to think whether this is having a real value. Probably if you take some analysis and survey, you could see that most of the, let's say if I have a B2B product which is being given to 100 customers, only 40% of the features they will use. And out of this 40, there will be close to 25 features which everyone is using. This 15 features is what is spread around rest of the customers. Now I have 100 features in my, 100 or 60 features altogether, right? So two customers using, one customer using, should I really get it into my product? Or should I do it at their project layer or solution layer? I am again talking about B2B. In a B2C scenario, this will not happen. In a B2B scenario, a software product, this kind of things can happen. So this is all on the customer challenges. So effectively, you might have seen that this is the product management is not a cakewalk. There is a defined process. You could see that there is a process and all those things, but it is not a cakewalk. You could every other day you could see, does your company even bother to test its product for bugs? Do you really test your product? Who will ask this? Probably your customer might ask this, because he might get frustrated in seeing 1 or 2 bugs. You will also hear this. You guys never give us enough time to do our work. Who will say this? Developers. They will say that every day you are having a hurry. Every day you are saying you deliver it in 2 days when I am asking for 5 days. Who will say this? Don't you even have this capability? Isn't this a basic ask? Customers, prospects, whenever you are showcasing the product, they ask something, they'll say, don't you have it? Come on, this is basic, right? And who will say that? How are we ever supposed to make money with this? Stakeholders, your CXO and all will ask, come on here, you are building a product for last 3 years. What is this? When am I going to get my money? So it is not a cakewalk. It is about answering all this, and you literally smoke will come out of your ears. It is because this is a one classic area where product managers can go demotivated. And this is where he need to make sure that he keeps on himself motivated to drive the team and drive the objectives. And this will happen only if you understand that this is, as a product manager, you need to understand that this is my life. This is my day-to-day life. The moment you embrace that, only you can go ahead. Even when I am speaking this, I am not there. I know that I am not there. I have a lot of emotions attached to my daily work and all those things, but I need to be there to be a successful product manager or more successful product manager. And then how as a product manager you will, you need to retrospect and you need to focus on continuous improvement. It is not about your responsibility is not over with the product launch. We saw a life cycle of the product, right? Even when you are sunsetting your product, you have responsibilities to do. Because your customers have signed up for your product. So when you are sunsetting your product and when you are decommissioning your product, you have commitment to the customers on sharing data, enabling them for migration, everything. So product management is about continuous retrospection and continuous improvement. Okay. Every time as a product manager, I need to ask, what is the value my product is delivering to the customers? Because this should be your single question every other day. What is the value which I am delivering? Second thing is, how good is my end-to-end implementation experience? So I have a product which is good. Now, assume that to implement that good product, I take 1 year. When I say 1 year, it is a lot of time and lot of money. And why it is taking 1 year? Probably it is lacking something on the implementation side. Product is good, but implementation method followed, there might not be tools, etc. So you need to ask, because only if your implementation experience is good, your customer will come up with, whenever the customer is coming up with the next product, you will buy it. That is the exact Apple example you are seeing, right? Your quality is good. The experience Apple is giving you is excellent. So whenever they are coming up with the next one, you are willingly buy it because you know that it is going to be excellent. The next one is on what are the further improvements which I could do. It is not, again, when I am saying this, most of the time our focus goes to features of the product. It is not about the feature of the product. It is product management as a whole. What area I can improve? What is the further improvement I can do? And last question, if you have to sit on the other side of the table and work on your product. So you are selling your product to the banks or healthcare or some department, right? Some domain. Now, if you are on the other side of the table, tomorrow you sold your product, tomorrow you are joining that company, and you have to work on your own product, what will be your emotion? Will you be happy working on that product? Every day when you come to office, will you be happy knowing that you have to work on that product? And every day when you walk out of the office, will you be happy or will you be frustrated just because you had to work on that product? What is happening here? It is empathy, right? You are putting yourself in the shoes of the other person and thinking like how his life is. So this is all about nobody else will think about this. That's what I will say. Other than product manager, nobody else will think about this. If he thinks about continuous improvement, he do retrospection, if his objective is to make the product superior, then these things will happen and the product will be having a huge, big quality, good quality in all aspects, not just on features or bugs and all those things. In all aspects, it will be good. And I will conclude saying that, it's all about passion. As I said, it's not a cakewalk. There are a lot of challenges. It is not a red carpet which is lying there where you can simply walk. There are a lot of challenges. Every other day there are chances that you will have your own frustrations, your own challenges, and all those things. Stakeholder, at times you will feel that people who are expected to support you most is not supporting. You will feel challenges with stakeholder management. You will feel challenges in convincing people. So it is the passion. It's the passion. Only passion is what will drive you. It will it might not be just a badge of a product manager. It might not be just a brand of the company. It's the passion towards product management is what it will drive you. And I'm stopping with that. Thanks everyone. Thanks for the patient listening. It's probably I might have took more time. I'm not sure.
No.
If there are any questions, please feel free to ask.
So in an earlier slide, we discussed about Tesla marketing budget, right? So my question is, how relevant is innovation to product management? Because many of those things wouldn't be possible if there weren't an innovative component to it. So some things that we discussed, like no need for marketing budget, all that happened only because that was a very innovative product, right? So not only innovative, but innovation that the market is ready to pay for. So my question is, how relevant is innovation to product management, and do we really get to work on, does a typical product manager really get to work on innovative products every day? And sometimes there might not be enough space for a Tesla or SpaceX kind of innovation, right? And what do you do in that context? Thanks.
Good question. Okay. When we mentioned about the product manager's skills and capabilities, we also spoke about an orientation towards innovation. He should be having that mindset. The problem here is, as a product manager, where you are working, right? For example, am I building something ground up? Means it's not there. I'm evaluating ideas, and I'm trying to find out a business problem which I can solve innovatively, or a business problem which is not yet solved. So, for example, most of us consider, at least I consider Uber as a very successful company. There's nothing, if you see, there's nothing innovative in that. Only thing which is innovative in that is user experience. Correct? I could just book a cab, go somewhere, get out of the cab and walk. Nothing, no exchange, nothing, because everything is taken care of. So one user experience is taken care of, that becomes successful. So if you are building a new product, if you are in that space you are working at, then you get. Most of the times, product managers, what happens is, there is already a direction which has a product vision which is established, a product which is already in place, and now you are supposed to work on that product, product increments or the better versions of the product. So you will find I would say your boundary, this is just my personal opinion, your boundary for innovation kind of confined, because you are not, you are not thinking from an open field kind of thing, where you have enough options. But where you could do some difference is, as a product, there's a capabilities which we might be delivering to our customers. But there could be something, some minor thing, I will not say minor, some changes which you could bring, which could add a totally different aspect in which the product is working. For example, let us say, today I am writing code, assume like this. Today for me achieving functionality, I am writing code everywhere. So every time when I have to do a maintenance, I have to do it, and it could be only done by me. Or me means me or my developers. Now tomorrow, if I am coming up with a rule engine kind of a capability, a rule engine which business can manage, not even IT, not even developers, just the business, to achieve their business requirements, if there's a rule engine or a meta-based rule engine which I am able to deliver to them, and if they can use it to address their changes in requirement, bring in new products or bringing new process changes, everything, then that is an innovation. It is a small innovation. It is not a product by itself. But that one feature innovation is adding a lot of value to the product. That's what I think. But otherwise, if you are working on a predefined product, in my view, the chances of a kind of a greenfield kind of innovation is pretty less. Please.
All right. Okay. So, all right. Yeah.
I hope there is no cap on questions. So on the number of questions. So my second question is,
Before the next question, like you have any views on that to share on that question?
Maybe probably the other question is also connected in somehow.
it's entirely different, but my views, I have no clue. I'm rather clueless.
Can I add in one or two things about innovation? Your question.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So that was a beautiful question actually, and it has multiple layers added to it. Right. The word innovation in itself is a cognitive experience at the end of the day. Right. So I would try to answer it in a different way. There is a famous quote that is called "Culture eats strategy for breakfast," right? So that means there is a culture that needs to prevail for innovation to happen. And in that culture, the emphasis is not in making material benefits, right? But it is important, but the emphasis, I'm trying to tell about the emphasis. The emphasis would be to address problems and create valuable solutions or value out of whatever work that we are doing. So I'm trying to add innovation to the word culture, right? So innovation can happen only in a place, in a culture in which innovation is entertained. I'll tell the story about Tesla again. I'm coming to Tesla again. Now you have asked about SpaceX. So the story of SpaceX goes like this. Elon wanted to go to Mars, and he wanted to build a rocket. He went to different people, right? And then those were the leading rocket manufacturers at that time. He went and asked, what would cost for for me to own an rocket. So he found that they were quoting really high beyond his budget. So now there was a problem. The problem was that I want to go to Mars, but I cannot afford buying a rocket. Now what he did, so that was the root of innovation, all right? So he was in a culture, he was in a space in which he was able to further go behind that problem and then further identify alternate solution paths to it. He went to the different markets who were selling raw materials of making the rocket, and then he identified that the cost of buying a rocket that is already developed in the market and versus the cost of building a rocket on our own can be optimized on a large margin. And that is what led to SpaceX. So why I tell the story, Steve Jobs also has similar story. How iPhone was was not made when Apple was registered as a company, right? Apple initially started as a company selling small microprocessor devices to make telephone calls more easily, kind of, yeah. But then they continuously, yeah, sure.
Let me add on to the Tesla thing, right? Sorry, the SpaceX thing. So I think the defining premise for SpaceX was Elon's realization that it's not new. NASA knew this earlier. Less than 1% of the cost of emission comes from fuel.
That's correct.
I think it's probably, if I remember right, 0.3 or something.
That's correct.
Everything else is the rest of the stuff which can be reused. So that was the foundational premise that led to. So again, my first question was that those kind of opportunities for innovation don't present in front of every product manager, right? Obviously, it didn't show in front of us at least. So how do we deal with product management in a relatively mundane context vis-a-vis Tesla?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's what I was coming to that. So we hear big stories like iPhone. We hear big stories like SpaceX, but then there are a lot of product managers who are working in whatever that is identified as a mundane kind of a work, right? But the ultimate job of a product manager, if realized properly within the culture, would be to solve problems. Do you agree with that? All right.
No, I fully agree with that. But then the question that arises naturally would be, if it is such a transformative problem or a transformative solution, why wouldn't the product manager be a founder? So that.
Product managers can be founders, but then solving a problem doesn't always yield to a business. Solving a problem requires teamwork, and then building a successful business out of it requires a lot of economics too, and then a lot of infrastructure support, etc. Sometimes a product manager might not be in that cap of experience or in that cap of capability, or maybe influence, etc., wherein which he can build a business out of solving a problem. But then, if there is enough support system, if there are enough executive layers who can take the solutions that a product manager, spins off, and then help him to get that out in the market rolling and make profits and successful businesses out of it, then that will be a value addition, right? So that is why most product managers cannot become founders where they right now stand. But definitely, if they are motivated enough to build those skill sets of a founder, which are a gap to him, then definitely he can be a founder too. He can build businesses successfully and revenue out of it. That's what I mean. Am I right or wrong? I don't know.
If you permit me to ask my second question, so we had a slide where we tried to address the different decisions that a product manager makes, right? Yeah, balances and a large list of. So my question is, sorry, I'm tired after a long day, so I'm taking a little bit of time to frame my question. So my question is, can those decisions be data-driven? Like, can some of those decisions come from A/B testing, for example? Are all such decisions subjective to the product manager, or can they be data-driven? Data-driven, yeah.
See, some of them can be definitely data-driven. At least, for example, we talked about whether to consider it as a product feature or not, custom feature, on prioritization challenges. Those can be data-driven. Those can be definitely data-driven. Whereas, when it comes to what should I say? A time versus quality call, or even things like listening to customers and not listening to customers, I am not sure, at least I am not sure how that data-driven approach can be used in those areas. Whereas in the other one, it is very clear. We can have statistical methods, like, you know, the prioritization methods, different other methods, like RISE or all other methods we can use to identify what value you can associate with each of the features and all those things. So when it becomes, like when it is about mostly things which is involving development, yes, you can use those kind of decisions, you can use data-driven approach. When it comes to things which has slight emotional connect, which means like decisions which like time versus quality, where you really want to go the other way, but sometimes you are forced to go this side. Or listening to customers and not listening to customers, because I want to always listen to the customers and I want to make sure that I am kind of advanced in market. So I might not listen to customers at some times, even though I might not deliver what they are asking. I might deliver something else to achieve the same thing. So these are the places I'm not sure. I don't see a option of using data-driven approaches. That's my take. It's again my perspective.
And also, sometimes there will not be data. Sometimes the fundamental premise will be there will be no data. For example, when Blackberries were ruling the market, everybody was using Blackberries. How did Steve made a decision to make a touch-based phone? I mean, where did he get the data? He didn't have any data. So I'm connecting that to your first question. That was an innovation. And the innovation happened because there was no fear of failure. What they did was a lot of MVPs for creating data. You know, for creating the initial set of data to make a data-driven decision. So data cannot always be the primary driver. When I say data, there are two kinds of data, quantitative and qualitative. Sometimes qualitative data definitely prevails over quantitative data, especially when we choose the wrong matrices or maybe vanity matrices. The quantitative data is of no use. You know, so we'll have to be wise and really selective about the data part of it. But having said that, if we have data, it is always cherry on top of the cake. It is good. So we need to try to make data at least some informed decision based on data, so that at least we can gauge our failures.
True. Okay. Thank you for asking those questions.
Those are really good questions, and I think those questions come from experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Not an issue. You might not be titled as a product manager, but then you have the spirit of it.
Yeah. Anything else from anyone?
What was it like to be getting started as a product manager? Is it possible for a fresher or someone who's out of college to be in this field?
See, product, like you know, when people think about software industry, many people think that the only work in software industry is coding. Now that awareness is more there in the market, but still people think that coding is the only place, and even we could see today that there are only a lot of people, a lot of freshers who only want to do coding. They don't want to do any other, but there is a lot of space, a lot of other streams within software, right? In the same way, product manager is not something, you know, like you could see that it is not something where I can just pick someone and say that you are a product manager. It's a journey. You have to start somewhere. So in my entire career, I would like to say that I didn't do too much of coding, because my coding exposure was very, very less. I started my career as a implementation person, which is basically a person who is going in and to the customers and implementing the product which is being created by the company. So then I moved to, I did support, customer support. I was in QA, where it is testing. I did product engineering, product management, pre-sales. So all these, you know, each of these role you are wearing a different hat. Your needs are different. Your stakeholders are different. So all these experiences is what it makes me today. Right? Like what I am today is because of all this experience. If I lack the implementation experience, and if I lack the pre-sales experience and even the testing experience, probably I might not be, I will be probably 30% less efficient than what I am today. So it's a journey. definitely freshers can start, but it is always better that you have multiple exposures and then reach to the product management side. Of course, you can start as well. Then your learning curve will be slightly more heavier learning curve you will have to undergo. That's all. Because many things will come from experience. As you gather experience, so you start with a product associate, then you will become a product consultant, a lead consultant. Like that, your career goes. Then you become either on the product side or a product owner side, depending on how it goes. So you can start, but always better that you spend some time on other areas and then you have a better perspective about the entire system.
Abhay, we got a question from one of our online audience. So his name is Sandeep Bhaskar, and he's asking what is the difference between product maturity and product stage. I think by stage he's meaning product life cycle stage.
The product maturity is the life cycle stages is more about what I hope he is referring to this the 4 stages which he discussed: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline.
I think so. Yes.
The product maturity will come only based on the market evolution, right? For example, I had a product. In the initial days of the product, based on whether it's an innovative product or a general product, which is a competitive product kind of thing, I would say. So if it's an innovative product, my life starts as the journey itself is a lengthy journey. So when it will take longer time to reach the maturity stage, because you need to create your own market in that point of time. Whereas in the other scenario, the market is already there. So then the growth is slightly different, happen in slightly different fashion. So if we connect this back to the life cycle stages of the product, what happens is we saw that there are 5 life cycle stages what I have presented, like ideation, screening, prototyping, and development, and the last stage, which is go to market kind of thing. So in the development stage is what we are circling multiple times, right? Development stage is what, for example, initially I thought about a product idea, I conceived and I agreed on a product idea, then I started building the product, started with an MVP, then the next product increment. Over a period of time, I reached the product from a feature and all the other capabilities point of view, I reach a maturity in that level. But product maturity, when I say the stages, it is the stage is mostly connected with the market. It is not just with the product. So product is reaching a maturity life cycle based on the capabilities, the features which I envisaged in this, the value I envisaged in this. Whereas in the stages is reaching the maturity based on market. It is not based on the product. So that's my view on this one. Thanks, Sandeep, for that question.
So, any more questions? One more. Okay.
Many more, but maybe after the event. So, again, since you mentioned Steve Jobs and you gave some great examples, I'm basically trying to figure out, okay?
No problem.
So let's imagine Johnny Ive designing an Apple product, like the Apple designer, chief designer. And that is what shows up in the product, like, right? The iPhone or whatever looks cool. Exceptionally well designed. So where does the role of the designer of the product start? Where does it end? Where does the role of the product manager start and end? What is the role of a visionary? So basically, I'm trying to understand for all of us here, not only for myself. There is a visionary who visualizes, imagines a product. There is a designer who actually sits and creates that fabulous product, and then there is a product manager who's trying to bring all these things together and take it and owns the responsibility to take it to the market. So where do each of these people start and where do they end? Just trying to
let me give it a try. As we like when we initially discussed, there we talked about different things which will happen in a product life cycle, right? And when I say product management, we discussed that it is not just about building a product; it has everything associated. And in the initial examples, we found that there were fabulous products which failed. So the designer did everything correct. That product had a value, but just because the pricing strategy failed, the product failed. Now there are other examples as well. The brand was good, everything was good. They were trying to be innovative, but still it failed because the quality was bad. They were trying to be innovative. I am referring to Apple Maps in the initial stages. Because fundamental purpose of a map is to reach the destination. It was failing in that. So now there is a fact coming in, right? There is a matter of quality which comes into picture, which primarily is based on the product and the core product and its capability. And then there's a quality in the experience. Experience, when I say, I'm talking about as a customer, if somebody is dealing with me, the entire experience of dealing with you, dealing with your product, is the experience. It's not just about the product experience. So now you could see that product design and product experience is having a huge value. If that is failing, it is very difficult to sell a product. A bad quality, if you want to sell a bad quality product and make it successful, I'm not sure how you will literally do it. But even if you are having a good design, it might fail. So what I was thinking is, once the visionary or the product manager, whoever is deciding what is the problem which I am going to solve, what is the problem which I am going to solve, and what is the value I want to deliver. These are visionary things only, right? It's not about a coding or a design or anything. It's about a vision which I am having in my mind. What experience will I give to my consumers? Now, once I have finalized, after screening and everything, once I have finalized, then this role of the designer is becoming, I will say, you might have discussions and all those things, but that moment onward, the role of a designer becoming very prominent. Now the ball is in his court. I have an idea, I have a vision, I have a thought on value which I will deliver. Now, how effectively I am communicating my thoughts on this value and benefit to the designer. Whatever tools you use is different. However phases you use is different. How I am effectively communicating this value to the designer. That's where the designer role actively starts. Now, from there on, I think his role becomes critical till at least, depending on the type of product, whether it is having a continuous life cycle. For example, if it's like a chief architect or main architect, probably I might be only in the, in finalizing the initial high-level design and thoughts. Rest everything will be done by junior people, right? So once the vision is finalized, once the value statement is finalized, there the designer starts. And probably his major contributions end when the first, the product launches to the market and it takes some time to into the growth phase. Up to the growth phase, he might need to have active involvement. Probably after that, his involvement can actually come down. This is, again, my take based on at least the products which I have worked on. You have a different view? Okay, thank you. I think you can close.
Yes. Any more? I think we are running out of time. Sure, please.
Okay, so thank you very much, Abhay, for the very interesting session on product management, and thank you all for your participation. So as you all know, FIRE runs this event every first Wednesday of the month, right? Yeah. And pre-COVID, before COVID, we had sessions in Trivandrum, Kochi, and Kozhikode. Right now, we have started physical sessions in Trivandrum. And so I think personally why I come here is, one is this experience of listening to really experienced people who are knowledgeable. But it's not only that. Beyond that, this is a great place to interact with people, brainstorm, discuss, and gain more insights. So of course there are so many YouTube videos, so many articles and books, and what you gain by coming here over and above listening to those YouTube videos is this opportunity to interact with people and gain more insights. And yeah, really happy to be here, and thanks, Abhay, once again.
Thank you. Bye. Yeah, we're done.
Thanks all for joining and for the patient listening. Thank you. Hope you got some idea on product management and probably some thoughts at least. Now you can do your own research and identify more details on the product management, decide, like how it is.